Welcome to rSlash Offmychest, where we have a guy who tries to groom children dying of cancer. Our next Reddit post is from Rejected Rainbow. My boyfriend of 10 years is cheating, and I don't care. He thinks he's hiding it, but he's not. He guards his phone like a dog. He stays up all night to text her, he spends hours extra at work, but isn't getting paid extra. I've seen the messages, the texts, and the videos they send. The other woman is my cousin. She's been obsessed with him since the day they met at a family barbecue 9 years ago. She never stopped touching him or left his side. I've never gotten along with her because I just get bad vibes. They get along together like a house on fire. He and I have lived together for 4 years. I'm saving up for a deposit for a new place, and I'll move out when our lease is up. No notice. I just have to wait. Today, a package came to our house under her name, and I was home alone, so I opened it. It's a long-distance female adult toy that they could use together over Bluetooth. My boyfriend and I are both male, so I do not have the anatomy to use this toy. I packed it up like I'd never opened it and didn't say anything about it. When my boyfriend got home, he said that it was a phone accessory for my cousin's boyfriend as a gift, and she sent it here so that he wouldn't see it. A small custom sticker on the box says, "Personal toy." He ripped it off when he thought that I wasn't looking. He'd go to her house to drop it off the next time her boyfriend wasn't home. I'm checked out of this relationship. I have little savings, but I'm bleeding everything dry to save for a new place to just up and leave. I'm done. I just have to wait a little longer. OP, I sincerely hope that you let the cousin's boyfriend know about this because he deserves to know too. Our next Reddit post is from Courage Efficient. I gaslight my husband when we fight. Me and my husband are 30 and we've been together for 8 years. For the past couple of years, I make him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day to take to work. I use Welch's Grape Concord Jelly. This is important for later. Every day, he tells me that I make the best sandwiches, and I just say, I make it with love. However, when we're fighting, he always says that he can taste the difference in his peanut butter and jelly. And I say, because I make it with hate. But the truth is, he can taste the hate in his sandwich because when we fight, I use organic, sugar-free grape jam. It's in the back of the fridge and he's never seen it, so it's what I use to convince him that he can't make me mad or my anger makes food taste different. Like I said, this story isn't crazy, but it's something I always get a giggle out of, and I thought that you guys would too. Okay, that's kind of a sweet story. My first thought was that you peed in the jam or something like that. This is, much more mellow and a much nicer story. Thank you for sharing, OP. Our next Reddit post is from Chicken of the Year. Here's a thing I wanted to share. I just kind of wanted to get it off my chest because it's kind of funny and a bit embarrassing. Back when I was a senior in university, I was living in this shared house with 3 other guys and 1 girl. We'd all become friends after I moved to the city for school, and the place we rented was old and had very thin walls. Privacy was non-existent, especially when it came to passionate hugging. My roommates were pretty active in the dating scene. Wednesdays and weekends, total chaos. They were having the time of their life compared to me. The soundproofing was so bad, you could practically hear every move they made, banging chicks on a weekly basis. Meanwhile, I was absolutely not there. I was still a virgin, and it was starting to bother me, and apparently it started to bother them. They noticed that I was never bringing anyone home, and eventually the comments started rolling in. Even the girl in our group called me out on it once at a party. I joked that maybe she could introduce me to one of her friends, but her look made it very clear. Not happening. So I decided to get creative. One Saturday night, I went out with everyone to a club, but around 1 a.m. I bailed without telling anyone. I headed back to the house, went to my room, and set up my fleshlight and lube. I locked the door to my room, waited a bit, and then started making small sounds, clapping my stomach softly with the palm. Just some mild, believable noises, breathing heavily. Actually, this is a typo. OP writes breathing heavenly, but I think that also fits. I used my fleshlight hard to make the squoosh sound of wet pounding. Eventually, I heard one of the guys come home. I could tell that he paused outside my door for a second. Mission accomplished. To really sell it, I finished into a condom, tied it up, and tossed it in the bathroom trash without hiding it. Next morning, I woke up late, went out of my room, and I was instantly greeted by high fives and fist bumps by a hungover group of my friends. The girl was super curious, asking all about who she was and what she looked like. I played it cool, acted hungover, told them that she was a redhead. I like redheads. And one of the guys threw in a dumb ginger joke, which I didn't like, but I went with it. Anyways, this apparently became a thing, because everyone now thinks that I have a thing for redheads. Fast forward 2 months, and guess what? The girl in the house introduced me to one of her friends who was a redhead. She's pretty too, someone I very much like. We got together that night, and she ended up being my actual first. We even dated for 1.5 years. So yeah, my whole first time thing happened because I faked it with a fleshlight. But it worked out very well because I still lost my virginity. I like this comment from Baby Man Bun. I'm just glad you used a condom, bud. Imagine getting your fleshlight pregnant your very first time. Our next Reddit post is from Throwaway Duh. I'm a gay man and I'm in love with my wife. I met my wife when we were both in high school. We grew up in the South, so me being gay wasn't exactly an option at the time. We started dating because it was a good cover for me, and she had a thing for me. I've never had much of a sex drive. I used to assume that it was the pent-up gay, but knowing the terms now, I'm probably on the ace spectrum. I definitely like men, but even with the hottest guys, I only ever wanted it once or twice a month. I came out about 15 years ago, just to her. She was heartbroken, but very accepting. She asked me to still date her until I found a boyfriend, and I agreed because I did really value her as a close friend. We both agreed that we could keep living together because we were young and couldn't afford rent otherwise. We would go out together with friends, the usual couple stuff, but obviously we would actively see other people. I met a few guys, but none that I really wanted to hold down. And she was happy enough coming home to me after whatever escapade she got up to. Then she got pregnant. Everyone assumed that I was the father, and all I ever wanted was to be a stay-at-home dad. I sat her down and told her that if she wanted, I would marry her if she was the breadwinner. I would take care of the baby, the house, all that stuff, as long as she supported us. I explained that I would want the same arrangement that we had now, but that this way she could count on having childcare, and I would have the life that I've always wanted. She agreed, and we got married August 2011. Our daughter was born January 2012. Our life was exactly what I wanted and expected. We didn't have tons of money, but we got by fine. She was right out of college and not in the highest paying field, but honestly, I was so happy to be a dad that none of it mattered. About 5 years ago, we got drunk and slept together. For the first time in our relationship, we were actually physical. I woke up the next morning and I was shocked at how much I didn't regret it. It was definitely not something I would have done sober, but it made her so happy that it just made me happy. It was fine. I wasn't into it, but it really made her happy, and that made me happy. She asked me about it, and I told her the truth. I'm gay, I'm not attracted to her, but I do love her. If a physical relationship would make her happy, I could do that. After all, how many women are with men that they aren't attracted to? When the pandemic hit, we had another talk. We discussed that seeing other partners wasn't safe, and for the time being and the safety of our daughter, we should stop doing so. Our second daughter was born 3 days ago. There were a couple of complications, and my wife ended up having an emergency C-section. I realized that I didn't just love her, I was in love with her. I still identify as gay. I'm still not sexually attracted to her, but I have the life that I always wanted. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I have a happy little white picket fence life. And if I could do it all over again, I absolutely would. I'm a gay man, and I'm in love with my wife. This reminds me of a post I saw earlier that wasn't really a story, so I didn't include it in a video. Basically, it's a bisexual man married to a gay man, and the bisexual man, it's kind of funny. Whenever someone asks the bisexual man if he's gay, he always says, "No, but my husband is." Our next Reddit post is from Adorable Age. I beat my dad to a pulp when I was 16 years old. I'm now 24. My dad has always been a physically and verbally abusive person to the family. However, when it came to physical abuse, he would lose control and always target the head. He did not care about the consequences of inflicting damage on me and my mom. My parents would frequently fight, and however bad it would always end up with my dad pinning my mom and repeatedly punching her. Due to an awful upbringing, I started lifting heavy weights since the age of 14 to release the internal rage and to drown out the suicidal thoughts. And so, I'd gained some self-confidence to stand up for myself. One day, just like any other day, my parents had a physical fight. However, this time, I intervened instead of cowardly hiding in my room, listening to the primal screams of violence and verbal abuse. When I intervened, I started repeatedly punching my dad on the head as hard as I could, while my mom was screaming at me to stop. I was out of control, and all I could think of was hurting him as much as possible. However, the regret instantly washed over me when the punches hit him so hard that he started heavily bleeding from his nostrils. I stopped. He stared at me with regret, as if regretting that his son had manifested so much anger and violence throughout these years. Our next Reddit post is from Key Complaint. Honestly, this is so weird to me that I just want to yell into the void. I'm a 16-year-old girl, and I have stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Whenever I go to the center for treatment, I generally have the same set of nurses and techs treating me. I don't know if it's the same in all oncology places, but I feel like you can just see that a lot of the staff feel bad about the kids who are sick here. They do a lot of stuff with us. Give us stuffed animals, stickers, ice pops when I don't feel like puking from my infusions, etc. Just generally try to make us feel better because I guess no one likes to see sick kids. Anyways, I thought for a while that this is what my guy nurse was trying to do. But recently, I've been thinking that's not quite right. He gives me a lot of compliments on my appearance, which I thought at first was because I was insecure about my hair. But his compliments have become focused a little too much on my body. He told me that he thought that I would look cute in a little black dress, and he gave me red lipstick as a gift too, which is weird. He's also been getting more handsy. I was puking during my last session. Gross, I know. And while he was pulling my hair back, one of his hands was on my chest. Also, down in the comments, OP clarifies that when the male doctor was touching her chest, she means that specifically his hand was on her breast. I was obviously not in a place to tell him to F off, but it was so uncomfortable. My mom hasn't seen it because we've gotten to a point where she just has to drop me off and pick me up after. I'm just not exactly sure what I should be doing, and I kinda want to scream about it. I'm also sad because this nurse genuinely made me feel special and cared for, and it suddenly clicked in my head that he's actually a creep. Also, what do I even do? Like, I obviously can't stop my cancer treatments. I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. Yo guys, what's worse than molesting kids? Molesting kids dying of cancer. Holy shit. Then, 4 days later, OP posted an update. So, I had another session of chemo today, and it kinda hit the fan. I didn't actually tell my mom what was happening. I got too nervous and chickened out. I did ask her to come with me to my appointment today though, and she did. Like some of you said, the male tech acted differently when my mom was there. He didn't touch me at all, and didn't compliment me like he usually does. There was a period of a few minutes though where she left to go to the bathroom, and he got really close to me and made a comment about how it was weird my mom was there today and how he liked our alone time. He got really close to me and sat on the edge of the bed that I'm in for my sessions. Then he brushed my hair behind my ear and got close, like the way you see in romance movies before people kiss, and I was so uncomfortable. Also, thinking back, that was a dumb move on his part. Anyways, thank goodness for my mom's timing, because she walked in with another nurse that she was having a conversation with, and they both saw what was happening. I think all of us froze for a second before my mom was cursing him out. I think my mom would have decked him if I didn't grab her hand before she could. Anyways, I refused to talk about it for the rest of my infusion session, but afterwards, a bunch of people were asking me questions, and they said something about a report. My mom threatened to call the cops or sue or something. I don't know how serious she was, or if she was just mad. But yeah, my mom said that she would make sure that someone came with me for all my sessions in the future. The nurse lady who was in charge said that she would personally be my nurse whenever she worked, and that if she wasn't working, she'd have a woman she trusted with me. They also let me pick out a stuffed animal because I've always really liked them. I got a stuffed elephant and named her Ellie. When we got home, my big sister practically went feral and bounced between lecturing me about noticing inappropriate behavior and threatening bodily harm on the nurse. She was mad my mom didn't actually punch him. My mom was a little mad that I didn't tell her why I really wanted her to come before, but it doesn't seem like she's really mad. She keeps hugging me and telling me that she loves me. So yeah, problem probably solved. I sincerely hope that this guy loses his license and goes to jail, but more than that, I hope that OP feels better. Our next Reddit post is from Oceans of Notions. My wife poops in the shower and stomps it down the drain. This is not a joke. She recently told me this, and I've been living with it for weeks now. She even broke the news to me while laughing about it. You know what a waffle stomp is? She asked me as she laughed and laughed so hard that she started crying. I feel disgusted and betrayed. I can't even look at her over breakfast anymore before I head off to work. And while at work, all I can do is wonder to myself, is she doing it right now? Apparently, this has been going on for years. She says she uses all the scented candles she obsessively buys online to mask the smell. I work 12 to 15-hour days, so that's plenty of time to cover her poop stink. A few times we've had to snake the drain due to a clog. Now I know why. I'm not sure if I can live this life anymore. Here's an interesting fact about the world of scent that I learned from dogs. Do you know why dogs' noses are wet? Because it helps them smell. Because chemically speaking, water in the air enhances scent. So the moist air surrounding a dog's nose will help it pick up scent more easily. So when your wife is pooping in the shower, she is supercharging her poop smell and filling the house with it. Down in the comments, Egg Salts to Roaster says, and you've been sucking her toes during intercourse too, eh? That was rSlash Offmychest, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit episodes every single day.